Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm James and today we're on F1 2021, and if you guys remember the Brazilian Grand Prix a couple of weekends ago, we're going to try and replicate Lewis Hamilton's incredible sprint from last to P5, so lights out, and we're going to try and replicate that. It's an okay start. We've got the Hasses up in front. Let's see if we can get at least one of them diving up the inside of Mazepin. See if he spins. Trying to go around the outside of Latifi, but he cuts us off. That's okay. It's only lap 1. Don't want to get any wing damage. Nice and take it nice and easy, and see where we can go from here. So yeah, what an incredible weekend that was for Lewis. I think it was something like 25 positions over the entire weekend, and he did very, very well, particularly in the sprint, I thought. So, trying to go for a move on Latifi there, not quite working. And he went on the first lap up to about 17th, I believe, something like that. So we're going to try and see if we can do better. We're up to 17th already. We're going to go for 16th on Russell out the inside of the Williams, and nicely done into the hairpin. Raikkonen up ahead. Now hopefully we're going to use that incredible Mercedes straight line speed that was shown all weekend to get past some of these guys down the main straight. Bit of overtake. No DRS yet because lap 1. You can see we've got the run on Raikkonen already, the incredible slingshot that Lewis is trying to get. We're going to try and get Schumacher as well. We're going to go around the outside of Schumacher up into 14th. He's going to try and stick it on the inside, but we're going to hang it around the outside. Bit of curve on the inside, and that's 14th is ours. So nice first lap there. Good centre S as well. And we're going to try and close down Stroll now in the Aston Martin. And Hamilton was just incredible on that weekend, just soaring through the field like it was nothing. So see if we can do the same, replicate the GOAT. Catching up with Stroll in the middle part of the lap now. Aston Martin, lovely, lovely livery on that, I have to say. I do love the Aston Martin livery a lot. And lap 2, the only way I can do this in F1, by the way, is 25% race, so 18 laps. I'm going to have to make a pit stop, but I'll just make the pit stop the exact same lap as majority of the AI will. I think it ends up being about lap 9, so directly in the middle of the race. You can see we've got a run on Stroll now. See if we can go. He's defending heavily to the left. We're going to choose the outside. See if we can hang right round the outside. He's still alongside, so we're going to have to give him room. Still alongside. We're going to be side by side, coming down into T4, overtake and DRS. We let off the overtake because we've used a lot of it, and he kind of just barges us a bit wide. I don't know if it's sort of a Max Hamilton incident in the race, but not quite as severe, and we'll let it go because it's only Stroll. So we're going to have to go for another move. Probably the favourite place is down the main straight off the final corner, as it is such a long run up to T1. You can see following closely, trying to get good exits off the hairpins in this middle sector. Having to lift a little bit through there because of the dirty air from the car in front. Let's see if we can get a lovely slingshot on Stroll here. He will have a little bit of the toe of Vettel in front of him though, which isn't going to help us out much. But hopefully DRS can pay in our favour. You can see the straight line speed, he knows it. We're going to go to the right, and it's almost deja vu. Unless, are we going to go right round the outside and take the position straight away? We try to, and he's still there, so we're going to have to give him room. I'm going to use overtake and DRS, level on straight line speed, and again he tries to push us wide, but we're having none of it. And there we go, we got Stroll finally. It took a lot of effort, but we got him. Lap 4 we got him. So now on to his teammate Vettel, with Ocon closely in front. So we should be able to get these two guys maybe down the main straight alone. We'll have to see. But yeah, I've gone with the soft tyre first because well, just copying the AI really, and then go on to mediums. I did try a race where I just did mediums and then boxed right at the end for softs. to try and make it as close as to what Lewis did, but it ended up just costing a lot of time and didn't really get me a viable result. Nothing like Lewis would have. So let's try and hunt down Vettel now on the same strategy. A little bit of a oversteer moment off the kink of the Senna S. See, we've got DRS. I'm not going to use overtake. I've only got 37% of overtake, so we're going to have to try and conserve that through the middle sector a bit, and then get the slingshot run down the main straight, like we did on the Stroll a couple of laps ago. Having a look up the inside, he's very slow on the apex. It's not quite going to work, and we can't stick it around the outside either, so we're just going to hang in behind and hope that he doesn't gain much of a toe off Ocon either. Otherwise this pass is going to be much more difficult than I anticipated. Breaking into the final corner and trying to get that slingshot. You see we're quite far away off the corner, but it gets us the biggest slingshot. Here we go, DRS, all this extra momentum, extra speed, about 20 kilometers an hour more speed, and we're going to try and go right around the outside of the both of them, because Ocon was very slow on the apex, but we end up just getting Vettel. So yeah, we almost went deep and off the track there, but I saw Ocon was very slow on the apex, and see if I could get the both of them. It was a very ambitious move. That didn't really pay off. But we got Vettel at least, so that's an extra place. 12th on lap 6. That's not bad. 8 places. I am on my usual 100 AI rating, level rather, so difficulty, whatever you want to call it. So it's not like I've turned them down to try and sweep through the field. I'm going to have to push to try and get a somewhat decent result. I definitely think top 10 is on. Top 5, we'll see. We'll see how far the rest of the pack are broken away. That is going to be the tricky cars to pass, so the Ferraris, the McLarens, all with, particularly the McLarens, with very good straight line speed. So we'll have to see if we can catch up to them, but we're going to have a go at Ocon. There's a bit of rubbing in the middle of the apex, and Ocon keeps it the place. There was a lot of wheel rubbing and door banging, but you see he's trying to cover it off. I'm not going to go for that move if I'm not alongside, so he can keep the place for now. See if he's very slow up towards double right kink, and I'm just going to send it out the inside.
Nice work, that brings you up a place.
And that was a nice move, as Jeff has just commended me on. You can see actually Vettel also goes for the move on Ocon, so Ocon very slow there in that part of the track. Just Tsunoda now in front of us before we get into the top 10. And that'd be really nice to get Tsunoda. Let's see if we're right in the perfect place to get him up the main straight. He has a good exit off the final corner, but we're going to try and go for that classic slingshot. DRS, overtake. You can see the extra speed we got. He's going to fend to the left. We go right, and around the outside we go. Nice move there. Okay, so Tsunoda's out of the way. 3 seconds though is the gap to Alonso. We're coming up to our pit window anyway, so that will be the gap we have to try and chase down. And you see Tsunoda did have a little look into T4, but nothing coming of it, and we defend nicely. So we go end of part of the lap. We're going to pit in this lap. Let's hope we try not to speed in the pit lane. Nice, we got it stopped. You can see not everybody pits, but quite a few people do, so I just went with the pit lap that Jeff was telling me most people were going on. So we're on to the mediums. Slightly slower tyre, but I doubt it will wear out quite as quickly as the soft we were just on. Getting rid of the pit limiter. It's quite a long pit lane exit for this track, but you've got to try and avoid this outside barrier as we come around the final corner. Yeah, we've just about done that, trying to lose as little time as possible. You can see Alonso 4.5 seconds, so he's actually gained 1.5 seconds on me. But we have Mazepin in our way, yet to box on softs. So hopefully we should be able to deal with him quickly, or he'll just peel over into the pit lane and out of my way. Because we do not want him to spin in front of me or crash me off or anything like that. Or maybe he might crash himself so we get past nice and easily. Who knows? Coming into the final corner, he hasn't crashed yet. I reckon he's going to peel into the pit lane end of this lap. If not, we'll have to pass him again into T1. No, he boxes. So that gives us 3 DRS. So purple sector 3 there, just from the DRS and slipstream of Mazepin. That was quite nice. You see 109.8, not bad, but we're not quite on the top guys race pace, but I reckon the Red Bulls in clear error,
You're in the top 10 now.
pumping out some quick laps. So yeah, pesky Verstappen winning as always, but yeah, we're right up behind Alonso now. 1.5 seconds is the gap. Tsunoda we have broken away from, same as Vettel. And we're going to try and get Alonso and this pack in front. You can see there's at least 2-3 cars here. Alonso, Gasly, and then Ferraris and other things up in front. And you can see lap 13, the gap was sort of similar. It's gone down about half to Alonso, so we're in DRS range.
5 laps of fuel remaining.
Try and use a bit of overtake to get on the back of this group. And let's hope it's not a massive DRS train, because it's going to be very difficult to pass otherwise. And here we go, under the gantry into T1. You can see how much we've closed onto Alonso in the pack there, just under braking. The gap is now 4 tenths. We can have a nice strong whiff of DRS. Sniffing it all. But we can't get any closer. Purple sector 1 there. So we've got a good tow. Trying to get a really good exit off T4. But the gap stays about 3 tenths. And now the dirty air is really going to affect us unless we try some for the moves. Couldn't go for the move on Alonso there, had a look. Just follow him on the apex on the long left. Then into the tight right, are we going to go for it? Not quite close enough. Just going to bide our time, wait for the straight. We've got 4 laps, we've got time. So we're just going to have to try and barge our way through these guys. You can see how much time you lose with red in sector 2. So much time we lose behind traffic. And here we go, DRS, no overtake. Little bit of overtake, we haven't got bundles of it left.
Ahead, but be aware that these tyres need to last.
Jeff reminded me of the tyres are fine. We're trying to get Alonso down into T4 now. Hopefully he hasn't got too much of the whiff of Gasly, but that DRS is certainly helping him. You can see he defends left, I have nowhere to go, we sort of meet on the apex due to his compromised line, and then he cuts me off on the exit. We see if we can go for a major move up the inside. No, he covers that off as well. And we bide our time again. See if we remember he was slow in this middle sector actually, so see if we can try and get him into the one of the hairpins. But it doesn't look like we're close enough on this attempt. Gonna have to go for it on the straight again. There's not many laps remaining. It's a very short lap here. 109s I've been doing, so yeah, you can see on lap 15 down into, or up the straight rather, we'll have another go on Alonso. Definitely look closer here, you can tell he's defending to the left, and I see the tiny gap on the outside, and we're going to go for it, otherwise we're not going to get any of these places. And there's Alonso gone and in my mirror.
Great pass.
So good defending there from Alonso, but not enough to keep us behind in a Mercedes. We've got Gasly up ahead. I think at this point he might be our last chance, but Leclerc could be possible. Gonna have to drive like hell though. Just going up into the middle, say a big snap there on the exit. We're really going to have to try and get Gasly before the race ends. And maybe Leclerc. There's a big pack not far up ahead, being held up by a McLaren of some kind. Don't know who, if it's Norris or Ricciardo, but a shame that if we maybe had a slightly better pit stop or didn't battle with Strolls so much and the other guys in the midfield, we could have been right onto the back of these Ferraris and McLarens. Just taking tyre wear there, it's not an issue at all. Mediums will last a long time. And oh, accidental pause. Yeah, getting a drink because pushing so hard to try and get Gasly. Gasly is not quite abiding. He's just constantly got the toe of Leclerc, and when there's only, you know, 1 or 2 overtaking opportunities, although it is a good track on the calendar for overtaking, as long as you defend those bits that are easy to overtake at, so turn 4 for example, cover the inside off, you should be okay. But so we are unable to get past, not really quite close enough at the minute. Gonna have a little sneak peek at Gasly into the hairpin, trying to get a really good run up the hill. I'm gonna try and send it up the inside at the hairpin, not quite gonna happen. Now all this fighting, Alonso is going to be back into the fray here if we're not careful. Big snap on power, and there's a yellow flag somewhere, but I think it's all good. Oh yeah, it's Alonso retiring behind me. Alonso's retiring,
Let's get back up to racing.
so shame for him, but we can't gain any places out of that.
This is your final lap of the race.
But we're going to try and get Gasly on this final lap. See, we've caught up with him.
By 0.5 per lap.
Caught up with him down into T4, but we're nowhere near close enough. He's getting a big toe off the Ferrari in front. So we're going to have to do something in the middle sector or up to the line if we're going to do anything. And we've still got Alonso part there on the final part of the track, so we won't be able to overtake him there. We can't go for the lunge on the hairpin, but we've caught up massively in this middle sector. And the move is definitely on up into the hairpin, and we can send it. We're going to send it up the inside of Gasly. Gasly has no reply, and that is 8th for us, so not too bad. We're going to see if we can get Leclerc at the end, because he's only there. Try and get the biggest slingshot, but he's going to have a massive toe from sights, unfortunately. So it's looking unlikely, but we're going to see if we can get the run on Leclerc up towards the line. Going to dump all our overtaking ERS, but it's not quite going to be enough. It's going to be 8th place for Lewis.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
So it's not quite as good as what he did in the sprint, but it's not far off. Driver of the day, would certainly take that. And it just commends how good Lewis
It
is.
was a magnificent race and a drive right out of the top draw to take the win for Red Bull today. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
So there we go then. That is it for this video. We've tried to replicate Lewis. Haven't quite done it, but got fairly close. But that just shows how good he is. So yeah, that is it from me, guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a nice weekend, everything like that. And I'll see you all next time.
Just